What's going on, Planet S.O.N family? It's your main man, JD. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button for me. This is Drinks with JD.
Well, I'm a very curious type of person, so I'm always exploring my curiosity, and I'm always looking for new ways to spread the cause, because hip-hop might not always be the most popular sound,
right.
but my dream is to live in a world where everyone is living their dream, so it's going to go beyond hip-hop, and so I'm always experimenting with other genres, and sometimes I'll just meet people and they'll just play a beat, and I see it as a creative challenge to try new sounds, or to do a song in Spanish, or to try EDM with a whole different tempo and making something dope.
That's right.
So that's why I like.
No doubt. Do you work with different producers, or do you want to stay with like one producer?
Oh, I work with all kind of producers.
Okay.
Like, almost every week I'll have a couple producers reach out to me like, hey, check out my beats, and sometimes you'd be like, whoa, this is actually really good.
Yeah. No doubt.
And then it inspires you. So.
Okay. Is it just people reaching out to you?
It's just people reaching out to me, or sometimes I believe that God rewards me, like, because I was performing outside of Rolling Loud Music Festival, and this guy hands me a USB on his way out, and then I check out his USB, and I end up making like 10 tracks.
Wow.
From that one USB.
Yes.
Like I was blown away.
And that was a blessing.
And it was a blessing. Yeah. So.
Did you keep in contact with him?
Yeah.
That's cool. So what's your writing style? Do you hear the beat first and write, or do you just write before you hear, or when you're inspired at any moment?
So I just go into the studio, I just put on my headphones, and I don't write anything down.
Yeah.
I used to do that, and it would just cause me to think about what I'm saying versus just feeling about what I'm saying, basically. And my songs used to come out feeling a little contrived, or it just felt like there was something missing, but you couldn't really put your finger on it. And it was actually how I discovered my creative process, was kind of by accident, because there was a studio session that I booked at the last minute, and I didn't have time to write, and I just had enough time to get there. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna pop up, and I'm just gonna trust myself that I'm gonna be able to come up with something. And I ended up recording my best song ever.
Wow.
And it was faster than and it was higher quality and everything. I'm like, I'm never writing again.
Yeah.
And so once I discovered that, then I had a large discography before that. I literally deleted everything.
Wow.
And re-recorded everything and made it 100 times better.
Yeah.
Just by discovering my creative process, and then I read some books on songwriting and stuff.
Wow. That's amazing, because you're finding your inspiration from within and just letting it all out. I mean, there's also a lot of mainstream artists who do that, but it's also a practice. You have to learn what to tap into and just let it flow out. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, on your song Apology, right? You show your vulnerability, right? You humble yourself, and you humanize yourself in that track, right? I guess it's a two-part question. Now, who was it for? And also, is it important to you to show your vulnerability in your music?
Well, I believe it's important to speak from your heart. If that's vulnerability, then I'm not intentionally like, okay, how can I be vulnerable? I believe the songs are just like, God is like, here, say this, and I'm like, all right, that's how I see it. So if that's being vulnerable, then yes. And what was the first half of the question?
Yeah. Who was the song for?
Who's the song for? So there's two main things in my mind. The first verse was mostly about family.
Yes.
And then the second verse was about God.
Okay. Wow. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Has your family heard it, and have they said anything about it?
Yes, and I didn't write it specifically like, Dad, this is one for you, and my brother, this is...
Of course.
So I wrote it somewhat vague, whatever, so they can read into it.
Okay.
but they don't. Well, I guess they're gonna know now.
Yeah.
But not just my immediate family, but like family in general.
Yes. Overall, yeah. I guess that's why I was asking, because you weren't specific, like as in, I'm speaking to this person. You know, yeah. It was open to if the shoe fits, right?
Yeah.
No doubt. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's say your family, right? Do they support your music?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're really excited. Yeah, and then they love what I do, and my dad actually was a master flute player. I found that out from his sister, because he stopped playing for whatever reason, and I didn't even know until I went and visited his sister, and she said, "Your dad didn't tell you that he was this." And so I remember I think it was Father's Day or his birthday, we bought him a flute, and then he like played for us. And so that gave me a lot more certainty about what I'm doing. Like, oh, like that's where I got the music thing from.
Like it's in your blood.
From my dad. But before I knew that, it was, I mean, I still knew it, but it gave me even more confidence knowing that, oh, it's in my blood for sure. It's not just I'm thinking this is, you know.
No. Did you ever have a conversation with him to ask him why he stopped?
He's never told us. Maybe I'll go through in his journals after he dies or something.
Yeah.
Find out.
Hey, well, fortunately, I mean, you're still blessed to have him here, so why not have that conversation, you know?
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Okay.
I know it's a mystery, but it's all good.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, he does other things that he enjoys now.
Yeah.
So
besides the music.
Yeah, like he rides his bike. He loves bike riding. He loves church. He loves apologetics specifically, which is like the study of why Christianity is true.
Wow.
You know, from like a scientific or that type of point of view. He's also really into, like, you know, taking care of my mom and his kids, and that's my dad basically, and he loves reading.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome overall. That you have that musical gene in your blood, right? No doubt. All right, man. So let's talk about your deep love for our San Diego Padres. Now, when did you become a fan?
So my dad used to take me and my brother to games when I was a little kid at Qualcomm Stadium. So I remember them playing those Hell's Bells songs for Trevor Hoffman.
Of course.
I remember Jake Peavy and Khalil Green.
That's right.
Adrian Gonzalez and the old Padres team that they had. And that would have been great. That would be great to win a championship.
Of course. So, hey, as a Padre fan myself, hey man, I'm with you. Man.
Yeah,
I remember
this
all the
year it doesn't seem like it's going to happen this season. Yeah. But I believe it might be able to in the next 3 seasons or so.
Hey man, we gotta keep the faith. All right, man. So let's talk about your song "Slam Diego."
Yes.
Right? Let's talk about or speak about the inspiration behind the song, and also the love that you get from San Diegans when they hear the song.
Oh yeah, so how it came about is that I was driving for Lyft, and I'll always be playing my music in the car, and what I would do is like I wouldn't tell the passengers it was me until they'd be like, "Who's this?" And then I'd be like, "It's me," and they'd be like, "No way." Right? So
that's awesome.
I love that because you get a real authentic reaction.
Yes.
And so I had this one passenger who said, "Who is this?" I'm like, "This is me." He's like, "You know what you should do? Yeah, you should make a song for the Padres."
There you go.
Because this was shortly after they gave Tatis a fat contract.
Yes.
And he said, "Yeah, they're investing all kind of money in the team. Like now would be great to do it." And I was like, "Okay, that's a great idea." You know, and I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. And then months later, there was this game where the Padres were like down like 8-0 or something, and then they came back and hit the grand slam, and they ended up winning like 9-8. And that very night, it was really exciting. That same passenger found me on Instagram. He said, "Where's the song?"
I
was like, "Oh my goodness!" Right? And fortunately, on the 4th of July, I was performing at Mission Beach, and I had met this producer out on the beach. He said, "Check me out." And that producer, I went through his beats and I found the Slam Diego beat from that, and I'm like, "Oh, this sounds like a commercial, like nice, like high energy type beat," and then Slam Diego. Oh, it could be a call and response. Oh, shit. You know, and then I just recorded that song that
That's
very
awesome.
night.
And now tell me about the love that you get.
So I believe it's like a boomerang, because when you put love out there, then you get back. Whatever you put out there comes back to you magnified. So
Makes sense.
It's really awesome just seeing just like young children just like dancing and having a good time, and because it makes their parents feel good and it just makes everyone feel good, and just being out there and that's what I love about the song too, because it has a call and response, so it's like we're doing it together, so to speak. So, and also like getting the exercise, being out there, and how it's helped me develop my consistency and learning the value of consistency over time, and seeing how the compound effect works.
Yes.
And also learning how to get 1% better every day, because when I first started my performances at Petco Park, and you see the gear and the outfits and everything like that versus where I'm at now, it's just like one small change, one small change, one small change, one small change, and now we got merch, and then now we're changing up the way we display the merch, and now where we put the merch, and I even came up with the idea of making the hopscotch go in right in front of the t-shirts. So now like people,
there you go.
Right?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And just this little tiny evolutions, and multiple over time, and just understanding that process. So that's what has really taught me.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's amazing, man. It's amazing that overall you're learning just, I mean, from everything, from the business aspect, the marketing, you know, of how just to pursue and keep pushing you know, that's amazing, man. All right, man, so that's a perfect segue to speak about your street performance, right? So you perform your music all over the city, and also you travel the country playing your music, right? Where did the idea to street perform come from?
Daygo work.